Hello children, how are you doing today? Let me think you're still keeping yourself safe. Children, COVID is real. Please wash your hands with clean water and soap. P5 class, today we are handling completing shopping bills. I've said we are handling completing shopping bills. So when you're completing the shopping bill, we have some three parts that we have to look at. One is the amount, then quantity, and the unit cost. Those three parts I've mentioned in a shopping bill have formulas that can be used. These formulas are well shown in the triangle that you are seeing. We shall begin with the amount. Amount, children, is equal to quantity times unit cost, or unit cost times quantity. Amount is equal to unit cost times quantity. And then after that, we shall look at quantity. When we are finding quantity, we get amount divided by unit cost. Children, quantity is equal to amount divided by unit cost. Then unit cost is equal to amount divided by quantity. Children, unit cost is equal to amount divided by quantity. After looking at those three formulas that are going to help us complete the shopping bills, we are going to handle these two examples that we have at the chalkboard. Whereby example number 1 is saying, study and complete the shopping bill below. I've said study and complete the shopping bill below. In this shopping bill, we have a column showing the item, the quantity, unit cost, and amount. So the first item we have are the books. Quantity bought was 1.5 dozen. Then the unit cost. Remember, unit cost is the amount used to buy a single item. So the unit cost here is 6,000 shillings each. That's sign you see there in that table shows each. Therefore, according to the books, we are supposed to find amount, and as I told you, amount is equal to unit cost times quantity. So we shall get 6,000 shillings times 1.5. Being that 1.5 is a mixed number, we shall change it to an improper fraction, and 1.5 as an improper fraction is 3 out of 2. Therefore, our second step will be 6,000 shillings times 3 out of 2. When you look at the whole number and the denominator, they are divisible. These two numbers can be divided by 2. So we shall divide the denominator, which is 2, and we divide it by 2. So 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. Then we come up on the whole number, which is 6,000 shillings. Then we say 6 divided by 2 is 3. 0 by 2 gives us 0, 0 by 2 gives us 0, and 0 by 2 gives us 0. Therefore, we have 3,000 shillings times 3, which will give us 9,000. Therefore, the amount this person used in buying the 1.5 dozens of books is 9,000 shillings. Remember to fix the answer you've got into the bill table. If you don't fix it there, then your answer is useless. Then part B, we're going to look at the pens, whereby we have 8 pens. That is the quantity bought. The unit cost was not given, and then the amount is 3,200 shillings. Therefore, according to the pens, we're going to find the unit cost. And remember, children, unit cost is equal to amount divided by quantity. Therefore, our amount is 3,200 shillings divided by 8, so that we can get the cost of 1 pen. And 3,200 shillings divided by 8 gives us 400. Therefore, we shall get the 400 and take it to the table. Then we come to the toothpaste, whereby according to the column for the toothpaste, they did not give us the quantity, but they provided us with the unit cost and amount. Therefore, in finding quantity, we shall say amount divided by unit cost, whereby the amount is 3,600 Divide by 1,200 shillings. Don't forget to put the units. Being that the units up are the same as the units down, we shall cross out the units. Then when we divide, when we look at those two numbers, we see that they are all multiples of 10, meaning we shall cross out the zeros up with the zeros down, and we've remained with 36 divided by 12. So children, 36 divided by 12 gives us 3, meaning this person bought 3 tubes of toothpaste. Then we come to the column of soap. Children, we are at the column of soap. When you look at that column critically, we are seeing that they didn't give us the amount. And remember, I told you amount is equal to unit cost divided times quantity. Amount is equal to unit cost times quantity. Therefore, we get the 2,800 shillings times the quantity, which is 2. Therefore, 2,800 shillings times 2 will give us 5,600 shillings. Please, children, carry it and put it in the table. Then lastly, we have to find the total. How do we find the total? We find the total by adding the amount that we see under the column of amount. We have some money that was used to buy the items. So we add that money under the column of amount. So when you add all that money there, we shall end up with the 21,400 shillings. Please place it there. And when you are arranging your numbers for addition, arrange them following the right place values. So after handling question A, we have part B of number 1, which is saying if Jane went with 25,000 shillings, calculate her change. Remember, change is the money you're given after paying for an item and the amount paid is more than the expenditure. So that the money they give you after paying for an item that you bought is called change. Therefore, how shall we find the change for this number? We shall get 25,000 shillings minus the total expenditure, which is 21,400 shillings. And when you subtract 12, the answer there will be 3,600 shillings. Don't forget to put the unit because you need it. Then after that, we are going to look at question number 2, which is saying the table below shows how a mother spent her money. So still in this table, we have the items, we have the quantity, we have the unit cost, and then the amount. When we come to the first item, which is meat, we are seeing that the amount was not given. But remember, in our triangle, we said amount is equal to unit cost times quantity. Therefore, get 6,500 times the 5 kilograms of meat bought, which will give us 32,000 shillings. 32,500 shillings. Children, 32,500 shillings. Then we go to the next item, which is salt. When you observe salt properly, they gave us the quantity, they gave us the amount, but we don't have the unit cost. Children, unit cost is equal to amount divided by quantity. Therefore, get the 13,500 divided by 3. So when we arrange this number vertically, we see that we're going to begin by saying 13 divided by 3. 13 divided by 3 gives us 4, remainder 1. So the remainder is put in front of the 5 and we make 15. Then we say 15 divided by 3 gives us 5. Then 0 by 3 gives us 0 and 0 by 3 gives us 0. Therefore, our answer becomes 4,500 shillings. Don't forget to take your answer and fix it into the table. Then we come to the next item, which is carry. Children, on that part, be critical. According to that item, which is carry, they gave us the unit cost and the amount, but they didn't give us the quantity bold. Children, how do we find the quantity? Quantity, as Aria said, is equal to amount divided by unity cost. Children have said amount divided by unit cost. When it comes to carry, we think that our amount is 800 shillings divided by 1,600 shillings. Being that we're dividing and we think that we have the same units, we shall cross out the units and we remain with 800 divided by 1,600 shillings, 1,600. Therefore, we shall first of all cross out the zeros up with the zeros down, because up we have 2 zeros and even down we have 2 zeros, meaning we've remained with 8 divided by 16. When we have 8 divided by 16, both these numbers are multiples of 8, so we are going to divide them by 8. Children, 8 divided by 8 gives us 1. Then 16 divided by 8 gives us 2, meaning our numerator is 1 and the denominator is 2. That is showing us that the answer we're going to get is a fraction. How do we observe that the answer we've got is a fraction? Being that the 1 is up. Remember, children, that thing confuses you. Wherever we get a 1 down, we take it as useless because it does not change the value of the number up. But being that the 1 this time is up and the number down is bigger than that number up, we are going to remain with a fraction. Which fraction will be a half. Then when we go to the sugar, we were given the amount, we have the quantity, but we don't have the unit cost. And remember, children, unit cost is equal to amount divided by quantity. Therefore, get 4,800 shillings divided by 2. 4,800 divided by 2 will give us 2,400 shillings. After that, we shall find the total expenditure. Children, I said, where do we get the total? By adding the amount, the money under the column of amount. So we are going to add only that money under the amount because it's the money that was spent on buying those items that are shown in the bill table. Add that money under the column of amount. When we add, after arranging this number properly using the place values, we shall see that our answer will be 51,600 shillings. Then part B of that number is saying, if she was given 3,400 as change, how much did she go with? Part B, children, if she was given 3,400 shillings as change, how much did she go with? This time, children, they have provided us with a change this person was given. Therefore, to find how much she went with, we get the total expenditure plus the change. Arrange them vertically and under the right place values. Therefore, if you arrange them properly, your answer will be 55,000 shillings, meaning this person went with 55,000 shillings. Children, with the shopping bills, you have to be very critical, follow the formulas very well, and interpret, because these shopping bills handle the 4 operations that we have in mathematics. You need to be good in multiplication, division, addition, and then subtraction. The 4 are crucial in handling the shopping bill. So after looking at those 2 examples, we are going to handle the activity that has been given to you down there. We have 2 numbers. Read, children, and interpret. Read those numbers and interpret them well. Don't panic, don't rush. Children, take your time to do the right activity. I wish you a safe stay.